And then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go, it's in my fictional underwater lab. It can be, I just spoiled some of the story. It can be whatever I want it to be.
Hello everyone, Simo here, and welcome back to another news video on the Isle. Now in this video I have edited down part 2 of the developer Q&A, and I've edited the full Q&A for brevity for time's sake. If you want to see the full video, I have placed a link in the description to Dondi's Twitch channel. Now, I normally would offer commentary on all the cool things we discover in this video, but there is just so much information here, I'm going to let Dondi and ParadymShift explain things. I hope you guys enjoy the video, please leave a like if you do, and subscribe for more The Isle news.
Alright. Oh, the lore nerds are gonna lose their mind. We're not supposed to do lore stuff.
Well, now they have to wonder, did I just do it on purpose to lie to them? Because I've done that before. They thought they were
It's like
being
that-
slick.
It's like that one the other day, like, oh, is the transmitter dead? Might be doing something.
Yeah, it might be doing something.
Only time will tell.
If people had figured it out by now, they'd know.
Alright, Kat, we're gonna answer your question. How will the Pteranodon flight controls work?
So we did obviously we have the old shitty prototype in the live build. What I want to do is have a mixture of what we did in the original Primal Carnage and a fighter jet. Basically, I'd like it that when you are not controlling your animal and you're just looking around, that the last direction you flew in, it levels out altitude-wise, so you're only flying parallel to the ground. But my point is if you don't want to touch the movement at all, you can just kind of like auto move. That's the only animal that will ever have an auto move. It will just bottom out and you can look around. However, I want them to be able to have advanced enough controls that if you really knew what you were doing, you could feel really cool in the air. So being able to basically fly forward, flip 180, and then dive bomb down like you went backwards just to shoot in the other direction just because you could.
Which ties back into the... Which also would lead to the other question that was asked Wednesday, if you were just turning in the... What will happen if flying critters smash into the ground or rocks at high speeds?
You die.
Likely death.
Yeah, death.
So if you try to Immelman your way out of something, and you Immelman yourself right into a rock formation...
Yep.
Done. This is probably going to be a longer one. Oh, this is a name I recognize. Captain Magma asked, how will the various types of Venom work and differ from one another? Troodon, Dilo, Mono, question mark. And we'd kind of bounce this one because that was still under discussion.
It is still under discussion. We actually had a conversation about making Venom function the opposite of blood loss. Like the way blood loss works now is you have a certain chunk of your health that starts bleeding out, damage over time. This one, we wanted it to start very small and then get progressively worse over time until it hits its catalyst and then tapers back off. And if you bite them repeatedly, it's just chain affecting it, so it just gets awful. So I mean, you get a pack of Troodons on something, even medium sized, it's gonna ruin it. The point is that these snakes that bit a dead lab rat, the lab rat was then dragged through a labyrinth, and the bush viper, there you go, the snakes explicitly followed the path immediately. And these were dead rats, so it wasn't like it followed like heat signatures, it just followed its own trail of scented venom. So I'm thinking that it's almost like if you get bit by a venomous animal, you're a homing beacon for that thing. It's going to follow you.
And likely lead back to the rest of your pack.
Someone's gonna ask, can you just spit venom? And I'm just kind of like, maybe as a strain, but not default. No.
Trickle asked if locational is added with Recode. Locational damage is what I imagine the question would be. Will the damage we take show on our bodies from when we're bitten, dashed, and so on? So I imagine scarring or mesh deformation from
You probably
injuries.
won't see. You probably won't see mesh deformation. But you can definitely see where you've been attacked. It would have to fade over time. I doubt you'll see persistent scarring forever. It's not like, because you don't want to go around looking like, you know, Victor Zsasz from Batman or something.
Ragdoll Zombie asked, will dinosaurs be able to have more activities for your dinosaur to do that would give some kind of temporary benefit to a stat or something? Example, wallowing in the mud to help mask your scent. One cover yourself in mud. Yeah, that's not.
Well,
how
you
mud,
said scent. I was like,
that's why I was like, covering yourself in mud's not gonna work.
That's thermals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it was actually the Diabloceratops specifically that Jarell was like, we need to have them wallow in the mud. Like, that was the thing. I think that was the exact one she brought up.
What was to wallow in play?
Yeah, wallow in the mud, dirt baths, things like that. We wanted to have not meaningless, but more lively things for your animals to do. Ceratopsians to go and, like, you know, rub their horns and shit against the trees. You know, have shit that is literally like, Gallimimus is like, find 5 of you, like, to just enjoy yourself. And these things aren't things that you have to do. It just gets you further to the end, if you know what I mean. Now, you could do it, you know, organically yourself. Like, is just, hey, I want to mark every tree I see just because I can.
Sure.
Fine. You know, I want to go take a dirt bath because I like seeing dirt on my animal for no other reason. But there will be little things that's like, hey, your dinosaur wants to take a dirt bath. Go take a dirt bath. And you'll get like a little something for it. And these things, like, playing your dinosaur like an actual animal is going to get you to that elder system, which then allows you to get the perks and all the other stuff. Because, like, hey, I'm a Diabloceratops and I want to hang out with like 3 gigas. It's like, I mean, okay, but you'll never get to the end game. That's fine.
Next question is a bizarre name. Axorix. Will the night vision get any changes or stay the same to prevent from settings change? Ammo high.
There is a way around the issue right now with the gamma explorers. Like, we can't do anything about people with their monitors. But we've got a range of options. One of them actually is, if you're using night vision, from like a set distance outside of your kind of like radial fog, actually putting an orb around the player, kind of like that circular skybox that games use, and it's just black. You just don't see anything outside of that range. And if you play without your night vision on, of course, the nights, at this point they are pretty much pitch black. But those fires you'll see in the distance, if anyone's using a torch, well, I shouldn't say torch, I should actually say flashlight in this instance, but because back in the day we wanted to have, we explored it, and I was like, we're doing this. This is their job is to make it work. If I'm on a mountain range and I'm 5 kilometers away from a shitload of people with shoulder lamps, or there's a base with lights on, I'll see those lights.
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna see them in the night. So it doesn't matter. I can look and be like, oh shit, there's a tribe over there because there's fire.
There's fire, there's smoke.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's that. But the immediate concern is like what's right in front of you. Everyone's just kind of like within that 150 to 250 meter range of kind of obscurity where people should be able to hide that people can't because you've got people doing the gamma abuse. There's adjustments to night vision coming.
Okay.
So, I mean, let them prepare. We'll find ways to snap their necks. You don't deserve that advantage anyway.
Here we go. Nice name. Smug.png asked, with the addition of collision, what will happen when 2 dinosaurs run into each other? Would one push the other back based on size and weight, or would they just come? Oh, hold on. Or would they just come to a dead stop? I think we kind of covered this yesterday, or Wednesday, or Thursday. What day is it? Anyways,
it's Friday. I think
covered it in the big dinosaur
Wednesday.
knock small dinosaur down.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about like headbutting or ramming.
Well, we've already got dinosaurs running into walls and stuff, and then kind of stopping. So the next step is, if you're going over a certain speed, is that dinosaur to just kind of smack into it because you're an idiot.
Sure.
I know we're gonna do it for charge attacks with like the Packy, Trike, anything that's meant to run and actually collide with something. If they hit a wall or a tree or something large enough, it'll be a bad time. Hitting other dinosaurs, yeah, you knock their ass over or out of the way. Unless they're so small, you don't knock them out of the way, and you literally just crush them. You know,
Like trample them.
if a T-Rex runs over a Dryo, he's probably not gonna punt it. He's probably just gonna step on it and be like, oh, squishy's in my toesies.
I was gonna say it's like the bug on your windshield.
Eh.
I gotta go number 2 asked, will nesting remain the same, where you will just store food in the nest so hatchlings can eat from it? Or will things be made more difficult where the parent will need to drag a body to the hatchlings for them to eat?
No, it's so hatchlings eating from a nest is still good. I've always enjoyed that. Having them go from that hatchling to juvenile, though, they start getting on the nutritional diet of, like, we need water now and food, not just
Food.
Yeah, not just chewed up blech from the nest, which means at that point they can't eat from the nest anymore. So the parents do have to worry about bringing food to them.
Okay. Mr. ZSFG, how do you plan to make apexes harder to obtain, keeping the new mid... I guess it's meant to be a comma there? Or
harder to obtain to keeping the new mid-tiers relevant. Yeah. Well, the immediate solution that's going to happen is that you don't play as apexes in the very beginning. Like we simply aren't releasing the Recode with like, hey, you can pick the T-Rex, you can pick the Spino. No. All that's going to be there in mid-tiers while we work on. You'll probably get 2 or 3 iterations of different systems on how to play an Apex or get them.
Alright, we're gonna move on. You guys are losing your apexes, sucks.
No,
later.
just for what I mean, there'll still be sandbox and people can do whatever they want, but in the actual official capacity. Because I've always wanted the experiment. What if you just turned off the highest tier? What if it was only AI?
Okay.
So what if you got like no bigger than Allosaurus?
Would you guys consider making a spawn system where every map is divided into separate areas and zones that we could choose to spawn to?
Yeah. Okay. Would you guys spawn system every map's divided? So we've considered several different spawn options. I still have always liked magical cages falling from the sky. I think that it gives you ample opportunity to be able to nudge the cage in the direction you want. I like the concept of
where we dropping, boys?
Well, that's the thing. The opening scene of Predators with Adrian Brody. Have you seen that?
So this isn't Predators, this is Dino Stalker. It's similar to what Dondi's talking about. I didn't use Predators because Ravenous got a copyright strike for using it, so I avoided that, and treated you to this old retro clip instead.
So that same thing with the dinosaurs, but they need to be dropped in cages. And I wanted to actually have it so when the cage drops, because we had cage models, and the doors just boom, the doors blow off and out you go. So as you're falling in the cages, you could do left, right, forward, backwards, and your dinosaur would slam into the cage, and you would nudge it in that direction. But you would just get regions you would spawn in, just north, northeast, east, southwest. So nutrition-wise, every region that you could spawn in will have the bare minimum, the bare nutritional needs of like 2 or 3 dinosaurs is what it could support. But there will be hot spots of like, hey, this is where they should be because this is where the primary food is of this nutrition.
Of this.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay.
So you can find herds of this dinosaur here. You might find a couple of them roaming the island, but like these are the hot spots for them, you know, the game trails of this species.
Okay.
And they'll overlap and intersect. So we're basically wanting to make like highways that these dinosaurs would traverse naturally to get from A to B.
Moving on. We're not going to talk about that on stream. Elkin Bear asked, what plans do you guys have to encourage migrations and mass migrations?
Well, that's it. That was the highway that I was referring to.
Was the creature highways
it is quite honestly the control of food. And we may consider, much like those mud baths, dirt baths, you know, find buddies.
Social interaction.
Yes. Because I know there's going to be sparring. Kiss and Kitten Jarrell will not allow this game to be complete without packies.
Being able to wrestle.
Yeah, without being able to wrestle. Like, I know, even like the Myosaurs, I'm sure, are going to get the stand up on hind legs and fucking body slam each other like walrus seals. Like, I'm sure that's what will end up happening.
Noctim asks, when you release the Recode, do you plan to push everything new out at once, or will we have consistent updates of the new dinos being added after the initial release of the Recode?
Oh, this has been addressed 1,000 times.
Yeah, I think this has been.
Yeah, we've said this 1,000 times.
I think that a better question is, besides the post Recode, are there any plans to allow the community to see a roadmap of what it looks like post Recode that will include things like lore specific things that we've talked about that I can't share?
Lore specific? No. They'll have a roadmap of like the technical stuff we'll do, like Dinosaur wise, like, hey, this is the next one coming out.
Okay.
That's how it is.
So then there are new features coming in the Recode, and then there will probably be a technical roadmap that with Kissin and the team that we will compile and then release via our official media, no ETA.
An example for this. The Utah Raptor has been seen picking up a copy and eating it.
Sure.
That is something everyone will use.
Right.
A T-Rex can pick up a Dinosaurus and do that. Right. Exactly what the Utah Raptor did. So that is something that is a baseline thing that needs to be in for that. There are very few things that will not be in there. That's just because they're like herbivore specific.
Okay. All right. Noted. Let me go back to my question sheet here. We can wipe that one out. Ace of Blades asked, will creatures like the Spino and Dino be getting a water ambush or sprint function?
Well, yes, obviously. I mean, I know the Dino is going to have a very special... You're going to have a bad time because I'm going to destroy you in the water attack. Spino, I don't know. And the Spino is currently in a spot that... Brian has wanted this forever, and I actually didn't know about it. He sent a video to me like 2 years ago. Actually, shit, it might have been longer than that. When the original Spinosaurus we worked on came out. He's like, so have you ever seen a hippo run underwater?
It's horrific and kind of majestic at the same time.
I was like, no, I have not seen it. He goes, they don't swim. They are negatively buoyant, and they run underwater. And they will catch you, and they will kill you.
Hippos are scary. They look cute, but they do not fuck around.
Yeah.
That is...
let's see if I can find the other one.
But something along those lines for the Spino.
Yeah.
It's being looked at.
Yeah.
That's probably what I heard.
And there they go.
Hi.
Yeah, they're just gone. And this is a boat that's moving on the water.
Look at that, how much of the wake it generates just underneath.
Yeah.
How much do hippos weigh? How much does this Spino weigh? We should probably mosey on.
Yep, go ahead.
Alright, Thonodon, will there be advanced injury mechanics? Example, broken arms, ribs, etc.
Maybe. And I only say maybe because I know we're doing locational damage. Brandon's brought it up. I think Felipe brought it up as well, but I want to say it was Brandon. I want to blame Brandon for that one.
Some of you guys have funny names. Some of them are terrible. Boomer Dragon asked, with attacks that are not based on collision, will we ever see pre-made kill animations, such as a Rex grabbing a galley? Yes, Rex will be able to do that.
No, I mean, several will. I thought she wanted to show one off. It's fine. Guess not. She doesn't like y'all.
Has plus 11,000 subscribers. Is there any plans to implement interactive animations similar to the Utah punts, but they mean pounce, into combat? Like
That's
having that's basically the same question. Like having a Rex bite down on a Gig's neck and both players having to spam. Oh no, it's a different question. Having to spam buttons to win the encounter. So Gears of War to your chainsaw fights.
No, because spamming buttons, macros are a problem.
Yeah. Auto hotkey would just demolish you. How would that work in pack-on-pack combat?
Well, it doesn't, because at some point you have to get into the fact that it's a video game and I have 2 animators.
Right.
And at the same time, we aren't going to have 3 T-Rexes clamped down on one thing.
Right.
And it be like, now there's a kill animation. What would end up happening, one bites down, okay, cool, now the second bit down, which is just amplifying what the first one's doing. Okay. And then the third one And it's just at that point, as Brian had suggested, and I do believe is what we should be going with, is that it's a stamina battle, not so much a health battle.
Who can hold on the longest?
Once your stamina runs out as the herbivore and a large animal has a hold of you, you're done. It kills you. It doesn't matter what your health was at. What matters is your stamina.
Because it's how much fight you got left in you.
Yep. And once that stamina runs out, he puts you on the ground and he takes you out. That's it. That's the end.
Okay.
Or just the T-Rex's jaws close. He's
Okay.
just simply
I might have to download
broke
that
you.
and take a look at it.
Yep.
Sarian asked, I remember a while ago there were concepts of different strains of plants, some of which were huge or would be dangerous to players. Are they still planned for the future?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Don's a sadist. You think that's going away?
Oh no. Now go watch the original Jumanji. Go watch the original Jumanji.
Yeah, I probably could have answered that one without having to say anything. Alfredo asks, I know customization is important to some people. It helps them immerse better in the game. Will there be more skins, colors, and cosmetic features to choose from?
Yes. Skins absolutely, colors absolutely, cosmetic features. We've gotten to the point now. We've got the dimorphism. We also have the. I wanna look into it. I wanna see if we can just change certain parts of the dinosaur.
I can see this question coming up, and probably best to head off at the pass. There are no immediate plans to add things like your purchasable cosmetic, whatever glowy eyeball, fairy wings.
No.
None of that.
The only thing I've ever thought of, the only thing that is even remotely on my mind, or could you ever buy something in the future, is do we have two dinosaurs that are like precisely the same thing? Such as Giga and Carcharodontosaurus. You don't know what they are. Everyone there, for the most part, does.
This one goes out to you.
Yeah, it's, hey, do we want to invest in making a dinosaur that's already the exact same thing? Or, hey, do you want to replace your T-Rex with a Tarbosaurus?
I was just waiting. I was like, I see where this is going.
You can just buy the model, it'll swap the models, it'll swap sounds, but functions the exact same as something else. It is the exact same thing.
Azure asks, will the ocean be more intense, bigger waves, etc. during a storm? Oh man, there's a lot of cool ocean stuff happening.
There is a lot of cool ocean stuff happening. Right now we're working on something called an infinite ocean. Unfortunately, I can't really give that one an answer, because we are far away from Fun Boy Ocean Time. And I don't even know if we're doing like a full-on ocean environment in the Isle, or it's like, hey, we're gonna do like a complete like standalone DLC ocean thing where if you never wanted to play as dinosaurs and stuff, you could just play the ocean. Yeah, you could play the ocean game. I don't know, because I'll tell you this, the two people that need to want to do it, which is Brian and Jake. They were just like, ocean DLC when, ocean game when, and I'm like, when we have a fully finished game, like don't put this evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, and I think that to reiterate for the 2000 you watching, like, game comes first, DLC later.
Yeah, like it's the I thought about it and it might be DLC. All right, I don't care about it anymore because that's where it'd be. So it's just dead to me until we've got the game done.
It'll live in a Trello, ready to be worked upon until the game is done and Drell decides you can touch it now. Will it be possible for roars to be cut off in the future due to certain triggers?
Getting bitten falling. Yes, I want it. It's like if something's roaring in the middle of us and all of a sudden it just snaps away. Yeah, like I think it's very important, especially if you hear a broadcast get cut short because you heard a gunshot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely terrible at playing the dino into the game, but I'm gonna be hip deep in things when other things are live in there because that's kind of where I'm good at.
I still just want my unga bunga.
I really don't want to get spear chucked, but I already see it happening many times in my future.
Well, again, the Elder system, which is very close to the replication system, at a certain point, it's just going to be a bad time.
We're rapidly approaching the forbidden zone.
It's going to be a bad time.
Yes.
When something the size from Avatar comes rolling out of the fucking woods. And just kebabs you and leaves you on a steak.
Don't want that. I don't want that. We're approaching the forbidden zone.
I know we're approaching the forbidden
until we figure out the call to action to get you your replicate tattoo, then people can dig into that.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I own the game. I can say what I want.
Would natural disasters and extreme weather events be considered for the future, such as forest fires, blizzards, extreme heat waves, etc. And I will add on my own little bit of that. People starting forest fires.
No,
You don't want that?
I wanted it. I really did. And the more I looked at it, here's the problem. You're gonna get. You understand how devastating fire is. Look at Australia. Look at Australia.
Dude, the neighborhood I used to live in, burnt to the
California.
ground.
Yeah. All it takes is one jackass that's persistent with a torch, and he should be able to level the whole island.
Yeah.
The closest you would get would be like Far Cry Primal. You throw the fire in the ground and it does an AoE. And I do like that. Let's burn everything. But we start rapidly approaching that we need rockstar levels of employees and contractors to start doing things. There's the potential for snow. There's potential for every biome. Obviously, you all have heard me talk about certain buildings.
Sure.
Inside of those buildings, technically, I could make anything happen because it doesn't affect the whole island. It affects a box.
Right.
Which is great. I can do that. But it's a very debatable thing. Because
so if the council implements, then yes, but
otherwise it's just going to be very cool visually to just go through.
Yeah, I guess the pseudo answer is it is on our radar and being examined, but there is no hard yes or no for that yet, right?
Yes.
Durock, I'm going to try again now in this one. Durock asked, will predators get any advantage or reward over its prey for playing in a strategic and stealthy way, stalking and attacking by surprise at a perfect moment, other than just landing the first bite like it is right now?
Well, yes.
I think that the trike mechanic thing.
Well, yeah, the trike mechanic's a good one. Yeah, you pounce it from the front and die.
And suffer the consequences of poor planning.
Yeah. So, as I have shared with Jarell, I don't remember if she fully agreed with this, but I have given my unilateral, like, we're going to try it this way, if nothing else. Things like the Utah Raptors pounce.
Sure.
Hitting an animal from behind, it is at your mercy. And if you have the stamina to kill it, you kill it.
Okay.
Things from the side or the front. From the side, obviously, after a second or two, it's going to get the opportunity to fight back.
You give it the old cow tipping attempt, and if that doesn't work...
Yep, and if you hit it from the front, it just immediately gets to fight back. Okay. So the reward is your damage output is...
Greater or lower.
Yeah, greater or lower, and you're going to be taking damage. Not only are you losing stamina, you're taking damage at this point, fighting this thing.
It sounds like it would reward... well-coordinated packs too on other pack combat. So if your Utah's burning into people,
hitting something with a bite, just like going, I'm gonna bite this thing.
Nip.
It doesn't do anything. It's nipping it for the most part now. That's the idea. Being able to bite and clamp down on something and hold it. It is no longer what gets the first bite. I really want to move gameplay into, did you see it coming? More than anything else.
Terrastinian asked, with Isla Sparrow, really want to say Sparrow.
No, shut up.
Being made up of several islands, will there be ways to travel from one island to another, such as sandbars, low tides revealing land bridges, or maybe even abandoned human bridges? I feel like some of that's already in the new map, though.
There's like a sandbar kind of thing.
Yeah.
I haven't manually put in the other stuff. With the Infinite Ocean, I want to look at tides that are done in a smart way as opposed to like...
Panzu asked, any plans on allowing dinos to gain some hydration from eating? Some predators gain all the water they need that way, and some plants contain very high amounts of...
Yep. Jarell has very specifically asked for that for the herbivores, because she's the herbivore advocate. She loves playing Runaway Simulator. With the exception of the Tenontosaurus.
Simulator.
Which is why the Tenontosaurus is probably going to be fucking busted on release, like for Riot Games.
So I think we answered that question, so that's
we
good.
Did.
And we answered another question too inadvertently. Fred asks, right now...
We did that.
We did this
I
one?
did that, yeah, I did that.
This one didn't get marked?
No, it didn't get marked.
Yeah. We did do that yesterday.
Yes, we did.
This one didn't get marked down. Cool. Fred, sorry, your question already got answered. You don't get a second pass at the table.
D'Artagnan. I love that name.
D'Artagnan asks, will animals get more complicated threat displays when feather physics are in? Don, you're going to have to read that one out, because I don't even know what that is.
Yes. Feathered animals,
okay.
when doing threatening animations, will get fluffy puffies.
I was gonna butcher that.
No, I'm not even gonna do it because I know they're talking about the small type of Therizinosaurus. I don't even remember what it's called. I don't care.
Give me the hipsy big eyebrow.
Well, what we're gonna. I really want their eyebrows to go up and then rattle.
Prickle Chicks asks, we've seen carnivores have the ability to carry the carcasses of other dinosaurs. Will there be something similar in herbivores to carry the grass and bushes?
No, and Jarell really wants there to be, and she'll fight me on it, and she's gonna lose because I said no.
So why, can I ask?
Okay.
Not because mom and dad are fighting, but more because of the what's to stop a trike from dragging a bush.
What's to stop Trike from dragging a bush?
Weird phrasing, but
Yeah. Already it's gonna be bad with carnivores once people start taking chunks out. Once you take
with
chunks
the new
out,
core model.
Yeah, and that's another reason I wanted to add stuff to the nest of like, hey, you have to put food in the nest.
Okay.
So you consume the food as an animal and you put it in the nest. Now with carnivores, it also means that like swallowing, you have to swallow the food. So you can't just like pull a chunk out of a dinosaur and just like, here you go. Because what we'll do is we'll have that disappear really, really, really quick.
Is that going to be something visible in nests instead of in the menu when you open up a nest menu? So like, can somebody steal from other nests by being able to see like, hey, this nest has fresh
No,
food
because
deposit?
when we put food in it, it's meant for hatchlings. It's going to be like just vomit, basically. And I'm not going to be like, hey, you guys model vomit.
Okay, yeah.
No one wants to do that.
Like model puke.
Yeah. So it'll be in the nests and hatchlings will know. Now, mind you, can you steal eggs? Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. But
Okay.
like the baby bird vomit, no. Now, that being said, we might just transfer it and say, instead of feeding your nest or just feeding it, you just feed the baby directly. Might be a thing that we do.
Dino Adventure asks, oh, this is a great one actually. It was mentioned a long time ago that the flying dinosaurs can act as scouts for the other carnivores and other players. Do you guys plan to allow it, or do you have some method to prevent this? Well, I think that the mixed pack debuff penalties will happen there, obviously.
Well,
but at the end of the day, like, you can't stop, Joe from hopping
can't.
in a Discord.
Yeah,
right?
You can't stop Joe from hopping in a Discord. Obviously, dinosaurs won't be able to fly forever, but also with the jungle coverage, if you've ever seen that from the top down now,
Yeah.
it's not that easy.
Yeah, you can't really see through the
And
foliage.
it's not an arcade game. You can't just be like, caw, and fucking now everything with a special ability is highlighted for you to see through the trees. That's not how it's gonna work. Like, the Pteranodon is focused on coastal fishing, or conversely, spotting carcasses, going to the ground, eating, and taking off at the first sign of trouble.
Getting out as quickly as it can.
Yes.
Will there be different stages of leg breaks, as in a minor tumble causes a sprain and a longer fall does more damage in the long run?
I mean, we could. The issue that I want to avoid, I kind of just want to have it where it's like I don't even want to have leg breaks anymore. I know they're important, but I want a way to get around them.
Or like
Yeah.
my least favorite
Well,
was
part of the problem you can't fucking outlook.
was when I slipped down the damn hill and like just went a
Well,
little
that-
too fast. That's
so-
an old map issue. That's
Well,
not a
no.
leg break.
That's not a map issue. That is, we don't have sliding in, which we will now. Like being able to, once you go down like something steep, it's just your animal's gonna lock onto the ground and just be like, oh shit, I'm skidding. And then if it keeps going for too long or too far, then your animal's gonna fucking tumble.
Because there's that clip from like 2 years ago, the last time you and I were running around, and I destroyed myself. Blood Moon asks, how will pounced animals be able to get rid of the predator attacker? That probably goes. We can circle back to your answer.
Yeah, we've
about,
already done that.
Yeah, we've answered that kind of just in the expansion of the question, in that potential dual mechanic, for lack of a better phrase.
Well, there's
for
that,
it.
and then there's also, if depending on how big you are, if you get like a Utah Raptor on you,
Shake them off.
well, you could shake them off, but at the same time, it's like it's also not really doing much to you.
Right.
Yeah, like they're on a they're
Well,
just
it's like it's like the little birds, right? That perch atop the top of the crocs and like nip at the top and scavenge from it.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, this is more. I was thinking more like the lions and the hippo. You get like 20 lions on a hippo. The hippo still ends up crushing one and walking away.
Is that milk? That's milk with 2 L's.
Doesn't matter. It just says milk.
We'll get you hooked up with some Hooked on Phonics later, friend. Are there any actual plans to implement a sort of sleeping feature where your vision is greatly, if not completely, decreased, and you have to rely on deafened and distorted sounds? To
There
keep
is
you
a
safe?
full-on fucking system Jarell wants that I said no to that I have now warmed up to. I'm not commenting on it because it's so fucking big. It's so huge for sleeping. God.
I feel like
Sleeping is important because we are putting it on logout. That's important. Number one.
Right.
If you try and log out, your creature's going to go to sleep. People are going to see that you're trying to log out. This combat logging shit that you've seen where people have managed to exploit their way out of the game, never going to happen. Never going to happen again. You leave your creature in the world and it's going to fucking destroy your database.
Plus, we've previously discussed Shmimimi for Elders, right? Which is just our tagline.
That's the perma-shmimimi.
That's the perma-shmimimi, but
Jarell wants something that she proposed, and all the fucking council said they could do it. She wants to have it where at night you can go to sleep and enter a dream state, which is your own little tiny world where you could kind of do whatever you wanted and basically practice as your dinosaur. You're basically in Dino Dreamland.
Mange asks, can the dino drown dinosaurs by dragging them into the water?
Can Deinosuchus drown dinosaurs? Yes, you can. Yes, you 100% can.
Everyone's got to breathe.
Yeah, most of the kills of crocs are usually by shock and drowning. So there you go.
Death spin and drag.
Yeah,
them.
I mean, if you death spin them, it's gonna fucking wear their oxygen out real quick because they're gonna be panicking. So that's it. Yes, you can drown things.
Tanman asks, what are the plans with the DNA bars on the character screen? Ooh.
Oh god. Well, as you've seen, the Elder System's there now.
Yeah.
There's a few other things. It's mostly for the perks though, like the long term. Yeah, because we want something that's more than just like the short term. I got a thing for 5 minutes. It's like Jarell wanted it where, you could say on paper you are the best dinosaur in the world or in the region of this category. Like I'm the best T-Rex ever. I have
X amount of.
Yeah, you're making the Ubermensch of dinosaurs. The more you play as one, you're eventually, if you wanted to unlock every perk, yeah, sure, go for it, and then you are literally the best version that you could be of that thing.
And I imagine that would
you could be a true alpha without stream sniping. Is there any solution to stream sniping? Don't stream.
Also.
No, just don't stream. That's the universal solution to it, because there is no. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like the responsibility to put in a delay is on you, not on game mechanics, right? Like I know that there has been some discussion internally about a quote streamer mode that like changes people's names and stuff. Whether that is going to get implemented is a completely different story, but honestly, Don and I both stream competitive games.
I can tell you now that what I've wanted to do for a while is remove the ability to invite people from afar. You actually need to do it with a radial menu up close
to someone.
And very specifically, there is no scoreboard unless you're an admin. You can't see who's on the server.
So here's my question: how does that play into the proposed group spawn system? If I can't like join a server or group my buddies, and then we all start spawning as freshies or in a nest or something.
Steam invitations.
Okay, so you just want to do.
Yeah.
So Steam invitations into the server would automatically put you into the group. Is that the plan?
That's the initial idea, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's like hop in Discord with your friends and
then do your
deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
until you get
together. Dinosaurs will have a type of map where, as they wherever they start at, it's just fog of war, and then once they've moved through, it shows the island.
Okay. So we've burned through. You guys initially submitted like well over 1,200 questions.
We burned through the official list. Punch, our mod team. Myself, I think, Kissin and a few other people, redlined all kinds of stuff to go through, and we appreciate the both. Obviously, you guys have a ton of questions, and a lot of you try to get these answered during Don's non-IL related streams, and we all know how that goes. But I think that this went pretty darn well, and maybe post Recode, maybe a month or two after Recode drop, we can look at re-examining another Q&A. And block out some hours in the team's time to do maybe a larger team Q&A. I don't know how Don and Jarell will want to handle that, but I will put that on our list to re-examine. Look at this. All right, Jafad wanted to know if there were plans for it.
Yeah, Jafad wants to see things, so
there's plans for it.
There's definitely
there's gonna be things for the lore channel.
There are things in the works. Good things, bad things. No, I don't know if they're bad. The lore guys are gonna rip this apart. Honestly, like my favorite thing now is watching, like how they just latch on to every little minute little detail. What the hell is that? It's a good question, man.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They told me I get to go play in the world again. They said it's yours to toy with.
Yeah?
Don't defame. And I said, yes, sir.
Yeah?
I got you. I was like, are there any limitations? There's none of the people, none of the characters.
Nope.
But everything else is everything else is yours to play with. And I said, thank you for my playground back. Thank you for my playground back.
Thanks for letting me play.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're good. It's about that time done.
All right.